Ready? Good evening. Thanks for joining us here in Monarch Stadium. I'm Matthew Sheely alongside Zachary Vatrite. And we've got a pretty exciting lacrosse game on our hands this evening. It's the Methodist Monarchs taking on the Guilford College Quakers. Zach, what should we know about these two teams?
Well, the Monarchs come in with an 0-2 record to start the season. They both played on the road in those games. As for the Quakers, they are 1-1. They actually got the win on the road. Last season, they were 1-5 on the road. So a win here tonight would eclipse that total already, 3 games into the season. As for the Monarchs, they obviously lost those 2 games on the road, but last season they started 0-4 and went on to go on a long winning streak. I think it was 6+ games. So Monarchs, not to say they're used to losing at the beginning, but they're okay with it.
They've been here before. The Quakers coming off of a 3 overtime loss at a Marymount, and it was scoreless for 2 overtime periods, 4 minutes each in the overtime periods, and finally losing 13-12. The Monarchs coming off a loss at Goucher College. And something that we should point out, I know, Zach, you mentioned it to me earlier this afternoon, these teams have faced off 10 times. And what's the record between the teams?
Guilford's won all 10, so that's something that we'll keep an eye on all night for sure. The Monarchs obviously having no luck in their 10 appearances or matchups, so something to keep an eye on there.
Hoping the luck will strike tonight. The Monarchs sure are. The Guilford Quakers obviously hoping to keep that streak alive, make it 11 in a row, but we shall see here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So, as you can see on the field, the starting lineups are being announced. We'll get you those lineups as well. For the visitors, Guilford with Wyatt Dwyer, Bashwin Fitch, Miles Glass, Jacob Mills, Davis Palumbo, Ezekiel Gravely, Cam Walters, Darius Savavi Abasi, Drew Sizemore, and Gavin Brown. So the Monarchs are going to start with it first.
And the Monarchs in their last home game, obviously this is their home opener, they beat LaGrange College in the quarterfinals of the USA South Tournament. The Monarchs were the 4 seed that year, and LaGrange was the 5 seed. They won by 4 goals, 16-12. Looking to keep the winning ways at home. Starters for the Monarchs. Number 2, Jake Bandler. Number 4, Daniel Wright. Number 5, Graham Clausen. Number 6, Cy Horner. Number 10, Nick Garza. Number 26, Jack Murray. Number 28, Logan Florio. Number 31, Hudson James. Number 40, Jay Legg. And in net is Ethan Yar. He's number 42.
30 seconds on the clock. And the Monarchs cough it up. And the Quakers possess.
And in the 10 previous matchups, Matthew, that both of these teams have played, there's been a 3-goal disparity in every single game or more. So the Quakers have really dominated this matchup, not just by winning the game, but by winning it by a couple of goals.
Daniel Wright scoops up the ball that was on the ground, and the Monarchs take it the other direction. Now on the far sideline, the Quakers take it back. Shot and a score. Quakers on the board first.
And that was Palumbo, the sophomore from Greensboro, playing for his hometown school.
Quakers goal scored by number 20, Davis Palumbo.
So we go back to the face-off circle.
In the circle for the Monarchs, number 5, Graham Clausen. And he scoops that one up. Tries to pass to his teammate, Clausen, on the ground as the Quakers recover the pass. Clausen still on the ground. Now they will whistle the play dead. Clausen up on his feet will jog off.
And Ryan McKay, the head coach of the Monarchs, you can hear him up here. He was very verbally upset that play wasn't stopped right away. Now the ball will be with Gavin Brown, a junior for the Quakers. He'll take it on this near side. Last time these two teams met, it was a 14-9 win for the Quakers in Greensboro.
Ball behind the net.
Ball is with Woods now. That's Seth Woods, a junior. He's taking on Jay Moore, a freshman for the Monarchs. And Thompson takes it all the way into the offensive zone for the Monarchs.
Jack Murray going in for the first goal at home for Methodist.
And Thompson really started that attack. Gave it off to Jack Murray, and he did the rest. Jack Murray with the celebration to match as well. That's his second goal on the season in 3 games.
Ball is with Clausen as he was facing off against River Hull.
Good to see Clausen back in the face-off circle. So it's 1-1 here early on. So ball is in the stick of Jay Legg.
Leg hit hard, almost ran into a wall, really. Scooped up by Cam Walters. Bandler from behind trying to knock the ball free, and he does. Burnett trying to pass across the field. Contested. Ezekiel Gravely got it. And now Miles Glass passes to his teammate.
And Miles really getting hassled early on by the Monarch defenders. Brown now lays it off to Newton. And the Quakers give a little reset now. 50 seconds left on the shot clock. And it ends up in stick, and now the Monarchs will take it out once again with Thompson. No help there for Florio, and his pass goes astray, so it'll be with the Quakers. And Kirian Thompson takes it all the way to the other end of the field. Passes it off to Palumbo. Palumbo trying to work something from behind the net. And Jay Moore with his big stick was there and knocked the ball out and has the Monarchs on the counter now. So now the Monarchs trying to work from behind the net. That's Florio again.
Ryan Cavanis on the right side goes off the post. Maybe the crossbar. Now 2 Monarchs in there. Picked up by Nate Moore, one of the seniors on this team.
And Cavanis, a senior as well, that just ripped the iron there. So senior to senior for the Monarchs. And it's a beautiful night here in Fayetteville, Matthew. It's a nice crisp night, a lot warmer than last night.
Pass intended for Florio behind net, sails over his head. Yeah, you're right. It was very brisk last night as we were down at Price Field for a softball game. Tonight, not quite as chilly, though the temperature is dropping. And here in Fayetteville, we're expecting some possible snow and ice tomorrow, so we'll have to see how that goes. Here's Nate Moore. Pass ahead. Couldn't connect with Leg, but Leg picks it back up. Now a whistle.
And if Leg would have been able to control it, that would have been an easy shot at goal almost. But unable to, and timeout called here, it looks like. So both teams gather. 7:40 left in the first quarter here at Monarch Stadium. And as you say, winter weather coming in tomorrow, Matthew. That's why this game had to move to tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
Face-off time is still 6 o'clock. Obviously, if you're watching, you knew it was 6 o'clock. So,
but it was originally scheduled for tomorrow at 6. So, great awareness from both teams, looking ahead at the weather and deciding to move this one up a day because it would not have happened tomorrow. Methodist University actually has announced that campus will be closed tomorrow, so no athletic practices or games will take place.
No, and you love to see the athletes still to get to participate. You know, they have the awareness to get it done early and move it forward and really be aware. That's really important to be weather aware and, you know, hoping everyone stays safe out there, especially, you know, Greensboro's looks like they're going to get hit a little harder. So anybody from Guilford that's watching, make sure to stay safe, thinking about you. But it's been definitely a winter to remember, multiple storms potentially here in Fayetteville. So we're not by all means weather men, but something easy to talk about for sure.
1-1 the score. Ball is still going to be with Methodist.
And a pretty decent crowd here tonight at Monarch Stadium. A lot of fans for the Monarchs cheering and shouting.
Circling around his leg. Now with Myers. Marcus Myers on the right side. Now Florio. Met by a double.
And it looked there like Florio was looking for some sort of penalty, but the ref's not giving it.
Cy Horner was down to 4 seconds on the possession clock, lost the ball, and now it's with Guilford.
So the Quakers try to get something set up after that early goal. Getting all their players switched out, getting the right lineup in there, and now they'll attack. Workman plays it to behind the net to Palumbo.
Palumbo really taking his time, waiting for the right pass. Now they'll swing it around.
And Palumbo's got the Quakers goal on the night.
Seth Woods circling from the right side. His shot, no good.
And danger's there for the Monarchs, but able to get out of it as Yar was way out of the crease. But Monarch defenders there to pick it up.
Jack Murray had Guilford defenders all over him. And the ball ends up out of bounds. And it will be Quakers ball.
And I think all over him is a good description there of what Jack Murray had to deal with. The Quakers made sure to swarm Murray. Murray, the goal scorer for the Monarchs. And the Quakers seem to take this reset almost every single time. They like to slow it down a little bit.
Ball being chased down by Sam Newton. Right around midfield. Monarch defenders almost sandwich him. I believe there was a push. Christian Thompson getting a little handsy.
Monarch bench blowing up for that hit, though, even after the call.
Outlet pass ahead, scooped up by Guilford. Now there's a little battle for it. Good spin for Drew Sizemore.
And one thing to notice early is LJ Obey was out there, a freshman. He just slipped. I saw a referee slip early on in the middle of the field. So the middle of the field definitely seems like it's a little slick. So in transition, that's something to keep an eye on.
Here's a shot. Yar gets his stick in front of it.
And that's a good save for Yar, having to go down for it. The sophomore. So the Quakers last season were 8-10. They lost in the first round of the ODAC tournament to Shenandoah. As we mentioned in the pregame, they finished 1-5 on the road last season. Already 1-0 this season, though. So already looking better on the road. That road win against Greensboro, another USA South opponent to Methodist. Woods gives it to Palumbo behind the net.
Ball flies out, but will stay with Guilford.
And 31 seconds left on the shot clock. Hasn't started back yet. Now we go. So 30 and under 30 now. Palumbo trying to go around. Looking for a teammate. Finds Finch. And Finch just absolutely rifles that one from a cannon. to the top corner and restores the lead for the Quakers.
Yeah, good shot selection for Fitch. That one just zoomed by.
Quakers goal scored by number 4, Paxton Fitch.
So we'll head back to the face-off circle. Yar had amassed 3 saves after giving up the first goal and gives up the second there. So it'll be Fitch after that goal for the Quakers in the circle alongside Clausen. And Clausen's won all 3 face-offs so far tonight, and he'll grab his 4th. And Fitch, good in the first 2 games, 23 out of 32, improved on that tonight.
Clausen really good as well. Is that who you were talking about? Yeah, I look at the stats. I also see 23 out of 32. Clausen, yeah. Clausen really good in the first 2 games for the Monarchs at the face-off position.
Yeah, sorry for that confusion. No, yeah, I meant Clausen. Fitch was still in my mind after that nice goal that he just scored. But no, he's 3 for 12 on the season so far.
The Quakers in transition. Jake Bandler with the interception. A long stick.
And that wasn't easy for him to get the interception, especially cleanly.
Now here's Jay Legg. Quick shot on the ground.
And Bandler's still up there, even though he's a defenseman. He'll track back now.
Wyatt Dwyer picked it up, but now on the ground, here's the Monarchs again. Daniel Wright collecting the loose ball. Yar, big pass ahead to Cavanis, who catches it cleanly on the near sideline.
So 42 seconds left in the first quarter. There's 52 on the shot clock, so Monarchs can take the rest of this clock down to probably about 10 seconds, and then they can try to build an attack here, Matthew.
R.J. Breeden on the left side. There's a cutter. Shot just wide. Monarchs still have it. 15 on the clock. Now another shot. R.J. Breeden had it blocked. Here's Cy Horner. It's now behind the net. Florio with a circle around and a score.
And I was about to say there's under 5 seconds now, but Horner doesn't want me to say that because he just rips one and gets it to go. Past the outstretched net or stick of Savari Umbase. So Florio gets one to go for the Monarchs. On the season, he's got 2 goals now. He's picked up 2 assists as well.
Face-off violation. It's with the Monarchs, and time will expire. So 2-2. The score here after 1 quarter. Both teams taking their time, trying to set some plays up offensively.
And yeah, that was a good period or quarter for the Monarchs. They have only scored 2 goals in the first quarter throughout 2 games. So to get 2 here was good. They've given up 8 as well. So a good defensive quarter for the Monarchs. But the Monarchs need to be aware because the second quarter they've given the most goals up. They've given up 11, and that's most by a couple. So something to watch out there. As for the Quakers, they've scored 8 in the first quarter. So as for the Monarchs, that makes their defensive effort look even stronger there, Matthew.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they've only given up 2 in the first quarter as well. So both teams matching their totals defensively and offensively, scoring-wise. As for the Quakers, the second period is the period they give up the most goals as well. They give up 9 so far on the season. And that's highest by even bigger margin than the Monarchs. They've got 5 more goals given up in the second quarter than the rest. The next highest is 4. So something to keep an eye on here. Both teams have given up a lot of goals in the second quarter.
Clausen will be in the circle for the Monarchs to start period 2.
And Clausen is 5 for 5 so far on faceoffs. The Quakers have split between Hull and Fitch.
Looked like it may have been Cam Walters taking this one.
So the Quakers changing it up again, trying to get something going on faceoffs. The Monarchs really unable to get anything going off the faceoff, though.
Monarchs have it. In those home whites. Now going from right to left on your screen.
Nick Spinola just handles the ball behind the net for the Monarchs. Freshman.
There's Jacob Burnett. He put it on the ground. Monarchs win the race.
And there's Spinola, 45 seconds on the shot clock. Freshman making his first home appearance, as just said. Loses the ball there. Good pressure from the Quaker defender.
Long pass ahead. Who's going to get there? It's Nick Garza for Methodist.
And Walters with the clearance attempt there. For the Quakers, unable to get so.
J.R. Newman.
And the Monarchs giving up 39 shots so far on the season in the second quarter. That's 12 more than the next highest.
Jacob Burnett had it knocked free. Now it's with Miles Glass.
And Glass has really got speed to carry it through that neutral area for the Quakers. And the Quakers reset once again. They like to do that, go all the way around, Matthew.
It's with Workman now. Good defensive pressure for Methodist. That shot wide for Gavin Brown. It's going to stay with Guilford.
And Brown was really trying to wrap that one around, but unable to really get the whip on that.
That shot was altered. 20 on the possession clock now. Another shot wide. It'll be 16 seconds on the clock. Palumbo with 12 on the clock.
Under 5 seconds now. We're going to need a shot here for the Quakers. they'll count the shot, even though it hit 0 before the shot was released by Fitch with a save for the Monarchs. And I'm sure Yar won't mind that one, taking an extra save to his totals.
Yeah, well, we clearly heard the horn, and the ball was still in the pocket before the shot, but nonetheless, Monarchs able to pick it up off the ground, so no harm done.
Crabtree gives it back to Cavonis.
Here's Cy Horner from the left side. Stays with Methodist. Spinola has it tipped. Quakers have it. Long strides for Wyatt Dwyer. Shot blocked, and it sails awfully high.
Yeah, big block there. The ball almost lost forever, but hit a tree and stays in. Oh, fancy move there tried by Palumbo. Trying to get to Brown, but unable to come off.
Picked up by Jay Moore. He tiptoes on the left sideline. Barely hanging inbounds. Body's very spread out for the Monarchs right now. Nobody near the crease.
So 10 minutes left on the clock here in the second quarter in the first half. First 5 minutes of this quarter, not much going on really.
Cavanis has it back behind the net. Now with a pass to Cy Horner, whose shot just unable to go in.
A mad scramble there for the ball, but Sizemore able to collect it and settle it down. He now plays it up to Thompson. Thompson will make the transition.
Hit by Nate Moore, and a flag is thrown. There was a shot by Seth Woods, but I think the flag came first.
And a lot of contact going on in that attack for the Quakers.
Nate Moore is going to go serve a penalty.
The senior from Mooresville, North Carolina, will be the first player to serve on the night. First man-up opportunity, as we said. What will the Quakers do with it? Man-up being such a big thing is there's a shot from Brown right into the stick of Yar. And another tumble from a Monarch. That was Calvin Flippin.
He was flipping. Quakers take it back. It was a little 2-on-2. They choose to slow it down. Now a whistle.
And Flippin was having to hustle his way back because Palumbo right on the edge of the women's arc for a foul there. He was just standing there waiting, but his teammate couldn't get him the ball. So that would have been a good opportunity for the Quakers.
So timeout taken with 8:34 left in the half. 2-2 still the score. That's what it was at the end of the first period. So no scores here. 6 minutes and some change into the second period. Quakers with 7 shots this quarter, just 3 shots taken by Methodist in the period. 1 shot on goal for the Monarchs, 2 on goal for Guilford. All 3 of those shots, of course, saves.
And that holds true to the tendencies we've seen for the Monarchs, giving up a lot of shots in the second period. Monarchs actually had more shots in the first period, 8 compared to the Guilford Quakers 6s. Monarchs not getting as much offense off this time. And they're really getting stuffed in the neutral zone. They're really getting hacked, and it's really impacted them. Now, as for man-up opportunities, Quakers have had 14 on the season. They've converted 2, which quick math tells us that's 14.3%. So, as for the Monarchs, they've actually been really poor. They've given up 5 man-up opportunities and given up 4 goals. So, big ending to this man-up.
They'll swing it around, now behind. Here's Mills. Mills with a heater that sails to the right side of the net. Quakers are closest, so it stays on this side of the field. Looking on the left side this time. Straight pass. Scooped up by Palumbo.
And something we didn't notice at that little intermission there, as the ball just skids out of bounds. So Monarchs will avoid giving up a goal here, it looks like, on this man up. Number 3 for the Monarchs, Christian Thompson, was flagged when the teams got together, apparently. So the Quakers had another man-up opportunity. Kavunas now, making his way behind the goal, slowly but surely.
A penalty on Thompson, marked illegal equipment, so it's a 1-minute penalty. He's still over next to the table right now.
And that penalty on Nate Moore earlier was a 30-second penalty, so a real quick one for him. A long minute for Thompson. That might be why Kavonis is really trying to kill this clock. Only 15 on the shot clock now. Interesting to see if he'll try to take an attempt or just kill the clock. Waiting for Thompson to get back.
4 on the clock. Cavendish may not realize it now. Refs will blow the whistle, tap the head.
And Landon Trail was all the way up from his defensive position. Has to track back now as the Quakers give the ball, battling for it, and it'll stay with the Monarchs.
Bandler gets it across midfield. Gives to Cavendish.
So the Monarchs now back to full strength. They look to make use of Spinola. Getting physical. Around the crease, tries a shot just wide, but not afraid to use his body there.
There's a quick one from Breeden. Monarchs win the race again. 20 on the possession clock.
And now under 15 and under 5 minutes in the second period. Scoreless period so far. Kavonis wants to change that. Driving in, shoots, and a good save there from Savarvi Umbasi. And the Quakers have split time in goal this season. And a bouncer goes in. And Parham jumping for joy, still jumping for joy. What a finish. And that's one of those weird bounces. It's obviously a little slick down there and took a good skip right into the top of the net. Didn't even look like it went in because it popped right back out.
That one kind of panned out in slow motion. Will Parham putting it on the ground. Ethan Yar squatting down, thinking that he would save it low in the net, and it just slowly doinks over his head. Graham Clausen
stays perfect and gets the Monarchs on the offensive with 4:20 now. Down a goal once again. It only took 10 minutes to get a goal in the second period here, Matthew.
J.R. Newman. There's a flag in the air.
So Monarchs will look to take this to the end of the shot clock probably and get something going their way and then see what the penalty is for. Now with the touch, we'll find out.
Marcus Myers had a great shimmy that put a Guilford defender on the grass, and the sideline went crazy, but just couldn't do anything after the flashy move.
And the Monarchs, so they'll have a man-up opportunity. It's on River Hall. The scorer of the first goal for the Quakers on the night gets penalized. And the Monarchs are 4 for 10, 40% on the season so far. The Quakers have been good defensively, 2 for 12 on goals given up, so 16.7%. The Quakers overall, though, have given up or have been in games with 26 penalties. The Monarchs have actually only had 15 in both their games. So already 3 penalties here. It looks like it's going to be a physical game.
Swing it around. Now the Monarchs have men inside. Some cutters. Cy Horner, shot saved. Now a scramble.
And a nice behind the back there from Sizemore once again to help his team get out.
Good chance here for Guilford after a couple of solid defensive stands. Palumbo was well defended. Now there's a shot and a score for Bashwin Fitch.
So his second of the night. And he loves shooting from far out. That's why he's got 2 goals.
You're right. Clearly has some range to that stick.
Quakers goal scored by number 4, Bashland, 6.
So the Monarchs unable to get anything on that extra man, and Quakers get it back and get a goal.
Clausen wins yet another faceoff. Monarchs in some trouble. Pass intercepted. 1 man to beat. There's a score by Davis Palumbo. That was impressive.
Palumbo, the lone man up there and doing it himself. Picks it off and good effort from Yar to get back, but slips on the wet field. And the patience from Palumbo to wait for the slip and then just get an easy goal.
Yeah, you're right. He could have rushed that shot, but he knew he had a one-on-one. Patience, the perfect word.
So 1:46 left in the second period. Monarchs really letting this lead bubble up. Or might you say the Quakers are really extending it here late.
One thing the Monarchs have going for him is Graham Clausen in the face-off circle. He's been very successful so far tonight.
Yeah, he's 9 for 9. He's doing his part for sure.
Jay Legg stripped. And this one's going with Guilford. Timeout on the field by the Monarchs. And they want to talk it over as they're about to go back on the defensive side with 1:05 left in the half.
And the Quakers can take this all the way to halftime. And 2 goals in 20 seconds will cause you to have a timeout defensively, Matthew.
Absolutely. Really piling on quickly.
And not even the 2 goals, 3 goals in around 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So the last 2 goals, obviously, quicker back-to-back. But that third one, we hadn't seen any goals. We were talking about it, all the way, 10 minutes plus of the second period where there's no goals, not much has been going on. They had the shots, though. We said they had 7 shots when we last checked, and they've really bumped that number up now.
Well, one thing I want to point out, we mentioned the 13-12 loss that Guilford suffered on Saturday. I think I accidentally misspoke earlier and said that was at Marymount, but it was at home for Guilford. They played Marymount. The Quakers at one point had a 6-2 lead in the second period. So they were up by 4 and ended up losing that one 13-12.
Yeah, and they were up 7-3 as well. So another point in the game when they were up 4 goals. And Marymount actually came back in the second period to tie it up. So we won't see that from the Monarchs here. 3 goals in a minute 5 seconds is not very likely. But Monarchs definitely can use that and say they've got a chance here in the second half.
Yeah, no lead safe. But on the flip side, through 2 games, we haven't seen the Monarchs rally for much of a comeback either. So the Quakers get it across midfield, and then they'll use a timeout. They would love to be methodical here on this last possession. They can bleed all the clock if they want to and try and go up by 4.
Absolutely. That's what the Quakers would love to have. So, and the stats, they've been fairly even. Turnovers, both teams have turned the ball over a fair amount of time. 12 for the Quakers, 14 for the Monarchs. Both teams have had penalties, and they've been able to do nothing with them. face-offs, I mean, is heavily, we've talked about it, 9 for 9 for Clausen, 9 for 9 for the Monarchs on the night, but that has not resulted in much for them.
And I think that, to me, says that Guilford obviously is playing really well defensively. You mentioned the turnovers were close, so, maybe the Monarchs are matching them on terms of turnovers, but for the Monarchs to be winning 9-0 in the face-off category but be trailing by 3, that's something you don't want to see on the stat sheet if you're the one in that position.
Well, absolutely, because you're getting the chances, but you just can't finish them. And the Monarchs are getting the shots. They've had 7 shots in the second period. Overall, they've had 15. The Quakers have had 11 in this period and 17 overall. But the Monarchs just not able to capitalize. So the Quakers out of their timeout. It'll be with Fitch. He's got 2 to his name tonight. Looking to add a third or create a third goal and extend the lead for the Quakers to 4.
Pesky defense from Christian Thompson behind the net. Now Thompson defending Jacob Mills. "20 seconds.
And we saw the Monarchs score with 4 seconds left in the first period. Quakers looking to get their revenge.
Fitch had to pick it up off the ground. 5 seconds for Fitch, and he scores once more.
So 3 is the right number, and that's the same spot that he got the second goal from, and 4 seconds left on the clock. It's almost like they heard us up here and said, well, then we're going to score with 4 seconds.
Bashwin Fitch sends it grazing past the right side of Ethan Yar. I had to think about that. His right side, the left side of him from our perspective. But 4 seconds left in the half. Clausen, perfect on face-off for Methodist so far. And he wins one more. But the buzzer will sound and send us to halftime. Guilford College up 6-2 over the Monarchs halfway through this one. Welcome back for half number 2 here in Fayetteville. There's a face-off violation, so Graham Clausen still perfect in the middle of the field. Monarchs trailing 6-2 against Guilford College.
Monarchs looking to get a comeback started early on in this first possession of the third period. Kavonis just misses left. So now it's with Legg.
Jay Legg with a swim move. Tries to go over his shoulder. Good stop there for Savavi Abasi.
The Monarchs in the third period have actually outscored their opponents so far. It's the only period that they've outscored their opponents. So, signs of life potentially maybe in this quarter if you're a Monarch fan. As for the Quakers, this is the quarter they've scored their least goals, but they've also given up their least goals. 4 and 3 respectively.
Christian Thompson was playing some good defense on Seth Woods. Now here's the goal scorer of the night. His pass was inside, and then here the Quakers have picked it up once again.
One Fitch was way out there past the close to the center circle almost. Here he is again, and it's incredible how he's got 3 goals tonight, and he starts all the way out there, but he gets his momentum going. Not that time.
5 on the possession clock for Fitch. And the refs rule that shot was not in time. So the Monarchs take over.
Good save there, though, from Yar. He's made 2 good saves when the shot clock is expired. Won't get counted for that one. Got counted for the first one. So Murray, scorer of the Monarchs' first goal. Almost running into his teammate there of Nate Moore. But Moore swimming by. Monarchs still taking their time. Still a lot of time, Matthew, left in this game. They don't need to really rush it yet, but as the fourth period comes around, you might see them really not rush, but speed up their possessions.
Sure. That's definitely, something that the Monarchs have to be aware of, how much time they have left. And anytime you're down by numerous goals, you might start to get anxious and take shots that you wouldn't normally take, just trying to force something. Quakers take it away this time.
And that pass was on a string from Walters, but a little too much zip there. So it'll be Monarch ball as Nate Moore passes it over to Kavonis. The Monarchs last season were 9-8, a winning season, first season for head coach Ryan McKay. They were 5-4 at home. This is the Monarchs' home opener, looking to get their first win at home.
R.J. Breeden had his shot saved. Now Cy Horner cuts off a pass. It's picked up by Breeden briefly. And now the Quakers have it back.
And we had both 44s on both teams meeting in the middle, doing like a boxing scrum almost.
Good spin by Landon Trail. He gets it upfield to a teammate. Woods has it. He circled all the way around to no avail. Behind the net now. Here comes Fitch on the right side of the net. Defended by Jay Moore. The ball is loose. There's a flag in the air. Jay Moore going to trot to the sideline. Guilty of the penalty.
So another man-up opportunity for the Quakers. 0 for 2 on the night. And Fitch with a good chance there. Got the ball hacked out by the 3 Monarchs, which is big because the 3 goals, obviously we mentioned that before, but he's taken 6 total shots, so he's not afraid of firing.
There's a shot through the legs of Ethan Yar. Gavin Brown nets one for the Quakers.
So Brown gets on the scoreboard tonight. He's tied with the team high of 6 goals now. Palumbo got one tonight, so he's got 6 as well.
Palumbo's got 2. So he's still chasing Palumbo. Palumbo now sits at 7 on the season.
Yeah, I missed that one. But no, Fitch as well has got 3 on the night and 3 on the season. So combine those, he's got 6. So he's up there too. So early battles for leading scorer on the Quakers. As for the Monarchs' leading scorer, it's Jay Legg. He's got 4. That's 2 more than the rest of his teammates. He has not been able to do much tonight. The Quakers have really shut him down. We haven't said his name a lot. Matthew.
Yeah, Jay Legg, just a freshman, transfer from Queens University of Charlotte, but making the most of his 2 appearances so far. Like you said, scoreless so far tonight. The Monarchs now facing a 5-goal deficit. Here's Ryan Cavanis in the top right corner for goal number 3 for the Monarchs.
And Cavanis using the home energy to celebrate. And we've seen some celebrations tonight for sure, and all 3 of the Monarchs' goals have for sure had some explosions, you might say. Yeah. That's his Kavanaugh's first goal on the season. Clausen still 12 for 12 on the night. And he'll stay perfect.
Another face-off penalty for Guilford.
And any other teams watching trying to win the face-off percentage for the NCAA D3 should be afraid right now. Obviously 13 for 13 on the night. That really improves your averages. They're already winning face-offs at a 60% clip, and that'll jump up tonight. But that doesn't necessarily result in wins, as we talked about.
Very true. Burnett gives to J.R. Newman.
And the Monarchs, we said they were 9-8 last season, lost in the semifinals to Pfeiffer University, who went on to win the whole tournament. Monarchs won that quarterfinal here.
Newman coughed it up. Ezekiel Gravely, the beneficiary.
And Glass with that speed gets into the offensive zone, looks for a teammate, finds Palumbo. Palumbo trying to shake off his defender that's flipping. Hasn't shaked him off yet.
Gavin Brown now moves past Daniel Wright. Couldn't connect on the pass. Jay Moore has it for Methodist. And Moore spinning. Gets it up ahead to Legg. Legg tries to use a screen. Legg takes it all the way.
And Legg gets it under the legs of Shavarvi Umbasi. As he adds to his total, we said that he hasn't done much and gets his first goal there.
2 quick ones by the Monarchs.
And on some nights or on some days, you might not be able to even do that with the pace. But since it's a night game and it's very slick and cold out there, we've said that a couple players have slipped. So the ball rolling fast. Good use of shot placement. And Clausen just out muscling there. Walters. So the Monarchs 2 back-to-back goals in the game. The Quakers' 7th goal was on a man-up opportunity, so 1 for 3 now on the night.
Cavaness gives to Breeden. You can hear Ryan McKay, head coach of the Monarchs, directing his offense. Breeden rips one wide.
Well, if you're the Monarchs here, this is exactly where you want to be. You know, if you can score a goal and win the faceoff, you get another chance at it, right? So if they just keep doing that, that's an easy way to get back in this game. Now down 3 goals.
This one's on the ground. Cy Horner now ends up on the turf. And it will be with the Monarchs now, a flag thrown.
So it looks like it'll be on Sam Newton of Guilford. Or excuse me, that Gravely will go to the sideline. Yelling at the referees, it looked like, from our vantage point. Not sure what the official terminology of that one will be. But the Monarchs will be a man up. They've had it one opportunity tonight. And they'll have another after this timeout. So 6:04 left in the third period, Matthew. Monarchs scoring back-to-back goals and have another good opportunity here.
Well, if they could cut it to 2, it would really do a lot for their morale. Make them feel like this is back to being a winnable game. Obviously, they were never out of it, but when you see you're down by as many as 4 or 5, you start to question things. Like we were saying, maybe rush shots and, not play your best lacrosse. So a goal here would be big for Methodist.
And obviously not but 3 days ago, the Quakers gave up a 4-goal lead. Obviously, they had a 5-goal lead here. But if the pressure is put on from the Monarchs, the Quakers may start feeling that pressure even more on themselves personally.
Right, and if you see, flashes of Saturday's game in your vision, you start to maybe get in your headspace, and
absolutely, and
never know where it might go.
No, absolutely. The mental game is very important in every single sport. So, but it's a delay game, 32nd for Gravely. 6:04, as we said, left in the third period. The Monarchs were polled at 4th out of 9 teams in the USA South for the preseason. Top 6 make the tournament. Top 4 host throughout, determining our specific games, you might say.
The Monarchs with a fresh 60 seconds to their possession. Here's a shot up the middle. It bounces off the post.
And that was Leg there with a shot heating up. You talk about in baseball and softball, the bat's heating up. Well, the stick of Leg heating up now.
Ball still has not been picked up. Whistle. And it goes to Guilford now.
And that was a good scramble play from the Quakers to get the ball back, but they give it right back to the Monarchs, and now it'll be LJ Obey taking it forward. He's got lots of space to work with. Staring down Cam Walters. Walters put some pressure on him, though, and Obey passes it off to Florio, who's got one of the Monarchs' goals.
Florio wrapping around. He puts one in.
And Walters is furious, and so is Sizemore. Walters got, almost picked by LJ Obey trying to get off. So, ref not having any of it, though, and it's a goal for Florio, his second of the night. And a misconduct on Guilford. And no one was really calming him down. They just, almost the whole Quaker team ran up to the ref and started screaming at him. So not surprised by this call here.
So the Monarchs are going to automatically get the ball back. That's a huge deal as well.
Well, it allows for Clausen not to even have to take the face-off, even though he's won every single one. But the Quakers, you think, would win a face-off eventually. They've been changing around. I think they've rotated 4 different players. So, due time for that. Now, Monarchs setting up, only down 2.
Cavanis behind the net. Takes a shot, and it's wide. Methodist will win the race.
And McKay calling out the play for the Monarchs. As you said, this one is Omaha. So good old Peyton Manning. Classic here. Let's see what they can get from it.
Cavanis on the right side. Defender hits the grass. Now a fancy spin. Here's a shot from the leg. Saved. And Guilford runs away with it.
And a good save there from Shafarvi Umbasi.
Big hits by the Monarchs on the far sideline. Scooped up by Jay Moore.
And the Monarchs bench just pushing the team on. And we haven't seen the ball in their defensive half for some time now. It's almost been about 4 minutes that we've seen the Quakers have the ball in their offensive half.
Jacob Burnett gets past Glass. Now here's Newman. He gets it to Leg.
Good ability there by Leg to just keep that one in bounds. Looked like it was going to roll out, but good stick positioning from him. Now it's back to Horner.
Horner driving. Circles out.
16 left on the shot clock for the Monarchs. 2:35 left in the third period. Horner is battling with Sizemore. Gets Sizemore down. And Horner takes a shot. Helmet flying off of a Guilford player. Helmet came off of Walters there. So quick sub. Trail will check in for him. The Monarchs will get a free reset.
They'll send out Spinola.
Yeah, they took off Horner. Horner obviously a big factor in that last possession. Getting some rest as now there's Newman. Finding a Leg. Leg looking to shoot. He shot the last 3 times and shoots at a good save there from Savari Umbasi on the top of his stick and tries to rally the troops for the Quakers.
Newman charging from his right side. Takes a moment behind the net. Circles around and scores. J.R. Newman.
And Newman looking right over at the crowd, feeling the energy as they've scored 4 goals back to back to back. And they got 2 resets on that possession that really allowed them, the helmet came off and then that shot and save, that really allowed them to take off 3 minutes since the last time they were out of the offensive zone. But not only that, just keep the pressure on. Last time we've seen the Quakers have the ball, like we said, in the offensive was around 7 minutes to go in the third period, and it's 1:37 left now.
Walters in the middle for the face-off. Clausen, the ball just finds his stick, and he stays perfect still.
Well, and he knows that he hasn't lost a face-off. And you saw the effort. It looked like Walters was going to get it, but Clausen just slapped the stick of Walters and created a loose ball, and Monarchs picked it up. And a timeout here by the Quakers. Or excuse me, by the Monarchs, but Monarchs able to use that energy. They're only down 1 now.
Huge quarter this has been for Methodist. They were down 6-2 at halftime. Guilford scored first out of the break to go up by 5, and now a 4-goal run, like you said, for the home team puts them within 1, 7-6. Minute 15 left in the third, and then we'll have a fight to the finish in the fourth quarter.
Well, and that goal by the Quakers was with 9:48 left. And that was, I think they only had the possession 2 more times, maybe 1 more time in the offensive zone after that, and haven't really touched it since. And I think this is really where we see the face-offs that the Monarchs have not lost a face-off come into play. We talked about in the first half, the Monarchs are 10 for 10, and we didn't really see anything out of it. They were down 4. But now that they've been able to actually get some goals, they can just keep that pressure on.
You definitely could sense the change in energy on the sideline from both teams. It's been a complete 180. Huge disparity in the shots taken this quarter. Just 1 shot taken by the Quakers, and that was their goal, so they're a perfect 1-for-1, but the Monarchs have amassed 13 shots in this period.
And that's the most shots in any period so far from either team, and there's still 1:15 left, and the Monarchs have the ball, so looking to add to that total. 5 saves, though, for Shafarvi Umbasi, and they've been some good ones. And that shot for the Quakers and their goal, remember, was a man-up opportunity, so in regular play in this period have gone no way for the Quakers.
Nate Moore's pass tipped. And it is taken away by Wyatt Dwyer down that far sideline. Still going is Dwyer with the long stick. And now a hit from behind. There will be a penalty flag.
So it'll be Ryan Kavonis that heads to the penalty box. So Quakers, we said they've only got 1 shot. It has come on the man-up opportunity, and here's another man-up opportunity. Monarchs need to be careful. And you also wonder about Yar. He hasn't had any action to face. Is he kind of cooled off? Got to stay active in the game. That's something that's always tough for goalies.
Defensive unit includes Flippin, Garza, Wright, Tucker, and the Monarchs will stand without allowing a score. 10 seconds in the period. Methodist doesn't want to take any chances. They're going to hold it and ride the momentum that they have into the fourth quarter.
And it was a 1-minute penalty, so there'll probably be about 20-ish seconds left on the man-up opportunity going into the fourth period. But what a period for the Monarchs.
I want to know what Ryan McKay said to them at halftime. Or maybe even midway through the third period to really light the spark. McKay, the husband of Kirsten McKay, head coach of the Methodist women's lacrosse team. Boy, did she have a splendid first season here at Methodist last year. Both coaches coming from Piedmont. Kirsten was the head coach there, and Ryan was an assistant at Piedmont, so both familiar with the USA South. But Kirsten and the Methodist women's lacrosse team last season winning the regular season title, going undefeated in conference play. And she was named Coach of the Year, several all-conference honors for her players as well. So Ryan, the pressure's on. You know, he doesn't want his wife to get too far ahead of him. He's happy for her, I'm sure, but he can see it, and he wants one for himself too.
Well, I think that helps the competitive environment, in the household, right? So makes both teams better. Absolutely. The Quakers, they play in the ODAC. And we said they lost in the first round last year. They were polled at 8 out of 11 this season. So ODAC, a very tough conference. A lot of ranked teams, and look at their men's lacrosse field, at least 3 in the preseason. So a tough season for them incoming in conference play, but non-conference looking to get a win here tonight. So as the last 15 minutes of the game are about to start, the Monarchs have the ball with the 68 seconds left on the shot clock, and Kavonis will be sitting in the penalty box for about 20 of them.
Heavy defensive pressure. Monarchs just throw it forward. It actually goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Now the Quakers throw it back the other way. Shot, great save by Ethan Yar, doing a split almost, using his body more so than his stick.
And Yar hasn't had to be used much, especially in the second half. We talked about him maybe being a little cold. Didn't look anything of that. Maybe ice in the veins of that save, but good save from him. And the Quakers had the breakaway. Palumbo was free and then passed it off to his teammate, who took a crack at it. So the Monarchs now back to even strength. There's Kavonis, the man in the penalty box, and gets the shot to go above the keeper, and it's all tied now, Matthew. Straight from the sin bin into the goal category.
Well, you could tell when he started sprinting towards the net that he was going to take it all himself. No extra pass needed. And so that makes it 5 scores in a row for the Monarchs.
And that was Kavonis' second goal of the night. He's the second Monarch to reach double digits with Florio tonight. Clausen will look to stay perfect. He will here. And the Monarchs once again keep the pressure.
Kavonis had not scored in the first 2 contests, even though he's been a big impact offensively for Methodist the last couple of seasons.
Yes, he's a senior, a lot of experience. So now Nate Moore on the near side, almost parallel to the frame of the goal, passes it off to R.J. Breeden. He's a junior. Looking to get it back to Moore, does now. Moore trying to take a shot, and he was about to, knocked away there by Gravely. Good defensive effort from him.
Really a good recovery because Moore had spun past him, and he was just able to stick his stick out and knock that ball free.
And Mills there for the Quakers. I was just about to say he had to catch his feet and slow it down or he didn't slip. And James then takes a tumble for the Monarchs.
Here's Seth Woods, who give the Fitch. Correction, that's Gavin Brown.
Brown with a goal to his name tonight. Trying to tie a team high with another. There's Fitch. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes a shot from there. But heavy pressure from Murray, the first goal scorer of the Monarchs. Seems like a long time ago now.
Here goes Woods on the right side. 15 left on the possession clock. Fitch now at the top of the key. Here's a cut. Shot wide.
And Flippin took a belly slide for the Monarchs. I think he just took a tumble as well.
And Guilford, not enough time on the clock to attempt another shot. They'll just toss it toward the corner and let the Monarchs take over.
Well, and Workman had a good look there on the shot that went out of bounds, but just missed the net a little bit to the right. So 11:21 now, clock's ticking. Fresh 80 for the Monarchs. You know, wouldn't say that you start counting possessions, Matthew, but definitely something you need to keep an eye on if you're a coach. I mean, I've never coached lacrosse, but think that you'd be mindful of how many possessions you might have left.
Certainly want to make the most of every time that you have the ball. Here's Cavanis with a head of steam, trying to give back to leg. It's on the ground, and they'll kick it around a bit. Bouncing toward the far sideline. It stays in.
And Newman taking one for the team there, coming up hobbling, but able to keep it in. Cavanis had it and lost it. Trying to get out of the zone is Walters.
Big stick swings from Cy Horner, who knocks it free. Now the Quakers pick it back up.
So now the Quakers looking to get set up. They like to take their time, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just wait for their numbers to get settled in.
Seth Woods defended by L.J. Obi. Now Fitch on the left side. Circles around behind the net. Jake Bandler, the long stick, playing some defense. Now with help, the ball is knocked loose. Woods with 20 on the clock. Pushed away by Obi. A slip by Brown, 10 on the possession clock. Ball is loose behind the net. Monarchs have it.
And Yar was able to get his stick over top of it when it was inside the crease. Advantage there. James trying to get over the zone, and he does with the pressure of Palumbo on his back. But a big possession there for the Monarch defense. Quakers taking it all the way down.
And a really good clear, like you said, by Hudson James.
.841 now left in the game. 48 seconds on the shot clock.
Josh Crabtree has it stolen by Drew Sizemore. Now Crabtree knocks it out of bounds, out of the stick of Sizemore, and Methodist will have another shot.
Well, and you can just feel the energy on the Methodist sideline and the crowd below us as well. When you score 5 straight goals, that's kind of what happens. Crabtree taking it down again Pass it off to Moore.
Breeden left side. Gets past one defender, and he scores. Monarchs take the lead as R.J. Breeden.
And Breeden stares down Shavarve Umbase.
Breeden nets his first goal of the night.
He's got 2 on the season now, but that one is a big one. And it could go down as a game winner if the Quakers do not score again.
Clausen with ease wins another faceoff, shakes his hand because he got hit, and now there's the flag for it.
Not sure if he's in that much pain, but shaked his hand to the ref and got the flag. So sometimes it's all about the show, right? More back to Kavonis. Monarchs waiting to get the man-up opportunity. Kavonis trying to pump up the crowd.
And they know that they've essentially got a free play here, so they can really drain some time off the clock. Use this flag to their advantage. Cavanis takes a shot. It sails wide. Now whistle blows.
So it'll be Gravely going to the box. He went to the box once before on the night. And as you said, the Monarchs got kind of a free possession there. 60 back on the clock, 7:09 left in the game. Clock going down quickly. 30-second extra man opportunity for slashing for the Monarchs. 0 for 3 on the night.
They pass it around. Now leg. There's leg up top on the right side. Dishes. There's Breeden. A great save by Savavi Abasi.
When he read that very nicely, his pass, though, goes out of bounds, so the Monarchs will have a quick transition while they're still up a man. But he read the shot really well. He saw that Breeden was getting ready to wind up and prepared.
So another 82nd possession for the Monarchs. We talked about each possession really mattering. Now a flag thrown, and the Monarch bench seems to be satisfied with what they've seen. So it looks like another advantage here for the Monarchs.
Well, as you said, the Monarchs can use the rest of these 45 seconds and then get a reset. With 5:45, time is becoming a deep concern now for the Quakers.
Moore's pass intercepted, so the whistle blows and play stops.
And as the Monarchs have gotten, obviously, 6 straight goals, we've really seen the importance of the faceoffs. We were really, kind of wondering what the importance of not losing one was. What is the game of the faceoffs? Well, we've seen it in the second half. 17 for 17 for Clausen. So refs talking with the table. And as you said, whenever you're down, obviously the Quakers down a goal now, and we saw the pass from Shavarvi Umbasi go out of bounds, your mind kind of speeds up a little bit, and you make passes a little quicker than you would have liked. So maybe going through his mind there, could be what happened, a definition.
Play resumes. It's down to 42 degrees here in Fayetteville, so I'm sure both sides happy to resume play and continue moving after a short stoppage. That shot blocked R.J. Newman was the one looking to score, but I think it was off the head of Drew Sizemore. You could hear the pop from the press box.
The beauty of the helmet. Saving the day there for sure. And the Monarchs bench, you talk about it getting a little chillier, all tight. They have more numbers. Breeden takes a shot that goes wide. The Quakers having a little bit of a smaller roster. They're still huddled together, though. Quakers now with 25 left, able to send another defender in. Under 5 minutes, though. Monarchs unable to get anything on that man up. Breeden takes a shot. Now the Quakers with equal strength tries to get back into the offensive zone, but no good there. Breeden steals it, and Dwyer trying to get back, slips.
Florio has his stick knocked out of his hands, and it's picked up by Drew Sizemore. The ball is picked up, that is. He was nice enough to let Florio have his own stick.
And this right side of the field has been slippery, as there's another slip from a Monarch. That was Michael Tucker. So the Quakers got to be aware of that when they're trying to play offense. Oh, good pass there. Good opportunity that just missed for the Quakers.
And the teams were reaching across the midfield line. One ref says one thing. Looks like it will be with the Monarchs. Jack Murray on the near sideline.
So under 4 minutes now.
Another whistle blows.
So the shot clock, possession clock, was at 54. It looks like they might bump that up to 75 seconds. So it reset to 60 instead of 80. Still waiting on that. So now the 75 is on the shot clock. Monarchs could take this all the way down to around 2:45 if they wanted to.
There's Cabanis. Near the net is Florio, who gets back to his feet.
And someone's stick broke on the far side. They threw it away.
Florio with a stick in his face. Gives it to Leg.
Cabanis gives off to Moore. 27 left now on the possession clock.
Nate Moore tries to bounce one in. It's wide right. Monarchs win the race. Florio will bring it back now with 21 on the possession clock.
And the Quakers only 4 shots in the second half compared to the Monarchs. They've got 21. Monarchs really coming out with a vengeance in the second half. And there's another shot. Good save there. And picked up almost. Mad scramble now. Behind the back from Leg. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Leg picked it up in the mad scramble. Behind the back. Gets it by Shavari Umbasi, who made a good first save.
That was wild. Jay Leg could have had no idea where that ball was going. Just flips it behind his back and able to put his team up by 2 now. So the freshman really making his mark now 2 goals on the night. So a third consecutive game where Leg scores twice. And Clausen heaves this one backwards this time so teammate Jack Murray can collect it. Under 2.5 minutes to play. And the Monarchs lead by 2, and they possess the ball.
And McKay, the coach of the Monarchs, you can just hear him say that it's time to be smart. 50 seconds left on the possession clock, 2:09. Quick math tells us that it'll be about 1:30. And if you, as here's a shot, a zinger there from Cy Horner, but if you just let this one go and don't even take a shot, 1.5 minutes, say the Quakers do score, the way Clausen's been winning faceoffs, all he has to do is win one more and the game's over. But Clausen could also lose one. So, necessarily as a Monarch, you don't want to necessarily take that chance. But the Quakers, for sure, looking to get a defensive stop here.
Newman rears back, fires, and puts his team up by 3. It's not too windy here tonight, but I know that the Quakers felt the breeze as the Monarchs passed by. An 8-goal run for Methodist.
And Newman gets his second on the night, and that's the 4th Monarch to get 2 goals on this night.
And this one's up for grabs. Clausen may have taken a stick to the helmet. No, it will be Quakers' ball.
So with 1:30 left in the game, the Quakers win the first face-off of the night.
They know that they have to move quickly.
And this is the first time the Monarchs have scored 10 on the season. Here's Fitch. Misses that one left. Stays with the Quakers. 1:12 now. 60 seconds on the possession clock. That doesn't matter as much now.
They swing it around. Seth Woods, defended by Thompson.
On the Quakers to even have a chance to win the faceoff first of the night, big for them.
Shot wide left for Jacob Mills.
And not sure if Yar got a touch there, but just missed that close for the Quakers. 80 seconds now on the possession clock. It's thrown up to Bandler. 40 seconds on the game clock.
And the Monarch bench is really starting to celebrate.
Nate Moore carrying it in the corner. Being pressured by Landon Trail. $13 now on the game clock. Breeden with the ball. There's 5.
And the Monarchs pick up their first win of 2025. They go out and greet the goalie, Ethan Yar, who only gave up 1 goal in the second half.
And for the first time in 11 years, the Monarchs roar against the Quakers and get their first win.
Yeah, how about that? We mentioned before the game it was a 10-0 record with the Quakers having won all 10 matchups, so the Monarchs get to do it here on their home field. And they move to 1-2 on the season. Guilford falls to 1-2 as well.
And you can see the camaraderie from the Monarchs there. Obviously winning helps, but using the energy tonight and getting the 3-goal win.
So the biggest factor, we talked about it all night, it didn't helped them score a lot in the first half, but the face-offs, Graham Clausen almost finishing the night perfect, and it was just right there at the end, losing his first face-off all night, but still finishing 18 for 19, and that's what really helped the Monarchs possess the ball a lot in the second half and create some scoring opportunities.
Well, absolutely. The Monarchs only gave up 1 goal in the second half, and that was kudos to Clausen in winning the faceoffs. He went 8 for 9 in the second half, but the Monarchs was able to keep the pressure on and get 8 goals of their own. He went 10 for 10 in the first half, but that didn't translate. So able to get it to translate in the second half was big. The Monarchs scored 8 straight goals as well.
And we mentioned Yar, but the Monarch defense as a whole giving up just 6 shots in the second half, 2 in the third period and 4 in the fourth. Yar with no saves in the third period, 2-1 in the fourth. I'll get my stats right. So he only had to make 1 save. That's just great defense by the teammates in front of him.
Absolutely. And they gave up a lot of shots in the first 2 periods.
J.R. Newman celebrating now with the student section. Goal scorers on the night. Bashwin Fitch led the Quakers with 3.
And the Monarchs really shut him down in the second half just because the Quakers didn't get the ball. So that's an easy way to shut down a player.
For Methodist, no one with the hat trick, but lots of players with 2 goals scored. J.R. Newman being one of those, as well as Logan Florio.
When the Monarchs had their scores spread out, they had 6 total scores. The Quakers, on the other hand, they did not have as many. They only had 4. So a little more top-heavy for the Quakers.
Certainly. Jay Legg and Ryan Cavaness also with 2 each. Jack Murray and R.J. Breeden both tallying 1.
But Breeden gets the big goal of the night. He gets the game winner. So for Breeden, a very big accomplishment, a junior for him. That's obviously the first game winner on the season for him and for the Monarchs as a whole.
Well, the Monarchs are breaking it down here, taking the goalposts back where they belong.